So hello everyone. My speech is about a freedom of expressions. So a little bit of introduction about me. I'm Rondo. I'm an international student from Vietnam. Just graduated from Base College, so fresh out of college, with a bachelor degree in psychology and a minor in education. Still looking for jobs. So um, it's Pride Month, so I guess I'll be talking about a little bit about my personal resilient journey as a queer gay man. So as a very young age, I've always been asked with questions like, "Oh, why are you so feminine? Like the way I act is why is it so soft? Why is it so woman, so girly?" And then my mom would always like clock me in a way that like I express myself. She was like, "Why are you so expressive? The way that you talk, the way that I act, the way my mouth move, the way like all of the expression is on my face. It's just not a thing that a man should do." And I've been asked by stranger, I've been asked by random PE teacher who I barely know for like a day, been asked by my mom, just suddenly strike me up as like, "Are you gay?" And then in during those moments, I just like awkwardly laugh because like I just like, what am I saying right now? Because like they're just like asking in a very instigating manner, which I feel a lot of the time I've been forced to come out. I've been forced to express myself, and my sexual identity or any of my identity is like always been out of my control. So for an effort for that, I've always trying to hide my identity. But you know, the closet has always been made out of classes, which means people kind of know it, and then I kind of always hide it but not hiding it at the same time. But then it's like a lot of like embarrassment and also a lot of like internal homophobia kind of thing. um and then not in like 2018 did I get a little bit sense of my own elements. It's just like my friends in high school, and she just suddenly said we were like practicing for a dance, and she said like, "Oh my God, you're gonna look so good in those feminine jazz funk girl side movement, and I think you should audition for our dance class." And so what she did is that she just signed me up for like audition. She just like pushed me to go to it. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then fortunate enough, I was able to get into a dance club. But the thing is that through dancing, I was really able to express my identity through the dance move. I was able, it's like a kind of way to tell people that like, "Hey, I'm gay," without really telling people. It's just like people perceive me how I am on stage. And that's how I want to be expressed as well. And then I would get compliments such as like, "Oh my God, you're so sassy, like slay, girl, let's go." And then people at like the club would call me like, "Oh, call me as like girly or like sister." And I think I never really have any conversation about my sexual identity with them. It's just like we just naturally take people in, and then I just naturally assume my position. And it's just like a very implicit conversation, but it really heals me and it really helps me to feel very affirming into my own identity without saying like, "Yeah, I'm gay and I would like to be called like this." It's just like people just naturally knows it, and it is so lovely. And then in 2019, just like doom scrolling through Facebook, and I just like recognized this art called drag, which is basically what I know at the time is like, oh my God, a bunch of gay men in a room, and then they just dress up into these beautiful entities, so womanly, so feminine, and then they just be able to express themselves. And then at that time, I understand that like, oh, my expression, my overtly expressive behavior is being transformed into an art form. And I just feel so relieved of that thing and not being embarrassed anymore. And then, you know, COVID hits. But then COVID is not like a big part of my life. So I've been doing fine during COVID, fortunate enough. But then like I graduated from my high school, getting into college in the US. So I was like having like high school in Vietnam. And then getting to college, it was a very like predominantly white college. And so uh me being the only international Vietnamese students at the school really just like hits me because I bring in so many different cultural elements, but then I wasn't able to express any of them. So it really just like felt like I've been an outlier at the school. And then, so what I do is like, oh, not until like at the end of my sophomore year did I really get back into like some dance studios and trying to dancing. And then seeing pe individual like me who also didn't have like a stage to express themselves to also dance in those studio. And then what I do is that I ask them like, hey, do you want to dance for gala? And so we were able to form a group. And then we have like our first performance, second and third, and it's just like a gift that's just keep giving. And through our different dance performance, I'm always trying to put in a little bit of elements of like extravagant. It's either through our own makeup, it's either our outfit, or it's either the way that we move or the song choice. It's just like celebrating of how we want to express ourselves. And then fortunate enough in like the summer of 2023, I was able to take like a lot of like Vogue class in I just want to shout out to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for having a wonderful Vogue scene there. So Vogue is a performing art that's created from and for the Black and Brown LGBTQ community. Basically what it means is that it really helps me to embrace my hyper femininity and also embrace my gender expression. And just as I thought I was able to tap into, being a part of the LGBTQ community, in 2024, when I was like interviewed for like a job, uh, an interviewer asked me like, "Oh, have you ever contributed to the community?" And then I was just like stunned at the moment, just because like I've always been existing, but I've never really do anything for the community. Like what I want to answer them is that me surviving and thriving right now is already a statement, but I feel like that's the answer that I would not accept. So it's always in like the back of my head. And then fast forward is like my graduation in May. It's just like suddenly my friend just say, "Oh, you're gonna look good in a dress." And I was like, "Oh wait, honestly, I can pull it out." And so what I did is just I go online, buy a dress, wear it for my graduation, and here it is, as you can see, me wearing a dress for graduation, the only male figure wearing a dress, and I'm so proud of it. And this is a snippet of me taking a spin. I don't know if you can hear it, but I take a beautiful spin and I stand by it. And I don't know how it meant for the LGBTQ community, but after that, there are so many students would told me like, "Oh my God, you're an icon." And then it really helps me to feel like, oh, I really do something for the community. And the next time, if an interviewer asks me this same question, I would tell them like, you know what? The most controversial thing that I've ever done is to stick around. So yes, um, keep it short. Why Pride Month and why we should be proud? First of all, is we are celebrating the freedom of expression. There are some people who've been gifted with being expressive, and that's like the gift that we just keep giving so that we're not depressed. Second, we're proud of our identity because like this war has always been built upon being upon like heteronormative or and then that's why being gay or being proud or being queer is such a wonderful and beautiful thing to be proud of. And the third thing is to embrace the feminine energy, which has always been damaged, have always been cast aside, have always been a thing that people use as like a slur or a threat against, whereas feminine energy should be more respect and observed and embraced within. And just a final thoughts, I would say go tell someone that they're gonna look good in a dress. Something might change. So yeah, that's the end of my presentation. And if you have any question, please let me know.